This is the unfiltered feed. The unfiltered feed.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Unfiltered Feed. And this is our sixth IPL preview for this year. And this time we are going to talk about Sunrisers Hyderabad. A lot of injury concerns for them, and in general, not the most stable squads leading up to the IPL. So let's dive right in. Ved, what are your thoughts about the injury concerns, first of all?
Yeah, they've been hit hard by the injuries. The captain, Pat Cummins, possibly out for the entire season. We haven't got any confirmation. But also Jack Edwards and Ishan Malinga. So your entire bowling was reliant on those two guys at least. And they are gone. So I don't see them doing too well when you've got a bowling attack of Braden Kaas, Harsh Dubey, Unadkat, Fuletra. So
Yeah,
they're in trouble.
yeah, but in their defense, I think Cummins was the only recognized is a strong word, but I would say reputed bowler that they had. So even with him, the bowling attack looked pretty bad. But let's look at the playing 12 that they have right now. With Cummins missing, Ishan Kishan will be the captain. And that would be quite, I would say, not surprising, but I think Abhishek Sharma would be hurt because he's been with the side for so many years, and Ishan Kishan comes in and is straight away the captain. So what are your thoughts on that? Do you think he is the right candidate, or was there anybody else who could have taken up the role?
Yeah, the next best name was probably Travis Head because he captained Australia in the absence of Mitch Marsh at the World Cup. But I think they believe that Ishan Kishan is a captaincy candidate and he has the leadership qualities as well, as highlighted by Mr. Jatin Paranjpe. So I think it's time the world gets to see his leadership. He led Bihar to
Jharkhand.
Jharkhand to a SMAT title not long ago. So I think he's got the captaincy skills and it's time to see it on the biggest stage.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. The SMAT performance must have had a big role to play. Plus, he's in a very good form, great state of mind, so it should be good. But let's talk about this batting order. Is this the most explosive batting order of the entire IPL? Because if you look at the top six, you've got Travis Head, Abhishek Sharma, Ishan Kishan, Heinrich Klaasen, Nitish Reddy, Liam Livingstone, and I've heard that Salil Arora is also an extremely explosive finisher. And you've got Aniket Verma, who did pretty well last time, who's sitting out. So is this the best batting order by a mile this time?
Yeah, at least on paper, this has to be the most exciting batting. And you had pretty much a similar, at least top five in the previous two seasons, previous season at least. And then they've also added Liam Livingstone, who's been in great form, by the way, and Salil Arora, who I'm very excited to see because he's done some wonders in the domestic circuit and even in their practice game. He batted really well. So that is why I feel he will start ahead of Aniket. So I think it's a very dangerous batting and that is probably their only ace card in this team. It is their batting, and whenever they win matches, I think it will be because of their batting. So though we saw them fail big time last year, I feel that was because they all were collectively out of form, and I don't think that will happen every time. So I think they're in a good position to rule the Roosters in terms of batting.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think this time Ishan Kishan should do much better than what he did last time. And I really hope that after their performance last time, they don't blindly try to get to the 300 mark. They should respect the conditions a bit. And then
Yeah,
once
I
they're in, they
remember
can start hitting.
Pat Cummins last season started off by saying that I don't care if the team gets bowled out for 100, but we should go down attacking. And that is what he kept reiterating. And then after 7 or 8 games, he himself admitted in the post match that I think we need a plan B because this is not working. All of them going out of form together was not what we expected, but we need our batters to realize that they need to take their time. So he himself admitted it last time, and I think the message will be clear this time. Still go hard, but when it's not working, don't just blindly keep going.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think after that reset, they did do pretty well. They ended the season with 3 wins out of 4. which is why they leapfrog Lucknow Super Giants. But now let's talk about the bowling attack, which is the elephant in the room. Speaking of Lucknow, I think they have a bit of experience, which is good. They've got like the likes of Jaydev Unadkat, Harshal Patel. I think you can also include a Shivam Mavi in amongst the experienced candidates. Braden Cars is an international level bowler, so he's not new to T20 cricket. But the issue is none of them are at their peak. So how do you think they will manage this bowling attack? Do you just rely on the batters to do as much as possible, or do you actually expect performances from Harshal Patel, who's won the Purple Cap twice in the IPL?
Yeah, I think it is quite embarrassing to head into a season with this kind of a bowling attack. I'm being very honest here, but because this is by no means a quality bowling attack, and to have all of them collectively put together for a season and not think twice about it, I'm a bit surprised because you've got Harshal Patel, Jaydev Unadkat, who were probably the talk of the town 10 years back, not anymore. And then on the complete opposite end of the spectrum, the remaining players are completely undercooked in terms of experience. You've got Harsh Dubey, who kind of broke out only last season in a couple of games towards the end. So he has got kind of zero experience playing in the IPL. And Braden Kaas with his first season. And you've got Cranes Fuletra, Zishan Ansari, Shivam Mavi. So I don't see any reliable name over there. And I just feel if they prepare the kind of the poor pitches or the sticky pitches which they had for half the games at Hyderabad last time, the batting will suffer. Even if they try to defend their bowlers, the batting will take a hit. And when they have absolute flat pitches, I think because of this bowling, teams will be able to kind of outbat SRH. So they are going to be in a lot of trouble with this bowling.
Yeah, I'm still not as worried with the fast bowling because yes, these guys are not in form, but they have played the IPL for so many years that that experience obviously counts. But the spin is what I'm extremely worried about. Zishan Ansari was the only player who played for them last time. Harsh Dubey played a couple of games, as you mentioned. But other than that, I think Liam Livingstone is one name who could lead that spin attack, which is a joke. But what do you think could be the thinking behind this? Because all the injuries that have affected them, it's mainly to pacers. So this was their spin attack anyway. So like, what's the logic behind this? Shouldn't they have picked at least one established Indian spinner?
Yeah, that is what logic would suggest. They had someone like a Rahul Chahar last time and also had signed Adam Zampa, but he left because of an injury. So they were basically left with nobody. And you did see Cummins mention quite a lot that he doesn't believe in having quality spin when your batters are so good. And I think he kind of had a philosophy of slower bowlers or someone who bowl cutters, those kind of bowlers to be more effective than spinners. And they kind of trusted Harshal Patel, Jaydev Unadkat when Shami had a poor season as well. So this time around, Cummins isn't there, Shami isn't there, and Harshal Patel not in the best of forms in the domestic season again. Unadkat, I can't say much. His slower balls are effective. He was, I think, the third most economical bowler last season, which is quite a stat. And then Shivam Mavi, if he can, he is generally a too much bowler and then he gets injured. So I would be interested to see till which point he can last this time around. And then you go to absolute rookies in Saqib Hussain, who I was impressed by. He's a out and out quick bowler, so they would have to turn to him very quickly if things go down south. And then Omkar Tarmale, or whatever he's pronounced,
Tarun, yeah,
he's also a good prospect. So they have got a lot of projects here, and they want to finish those projects as quickly as possible so that they can put them right into the big picture. But at the moment, I'm taken aback by the bowling roster for them.
yeah. I think the funny thing is all of these philosophies and beliefs were of Pat Cummins. And I think he was the one who was in charge at the auction. And now they've assembled this team and he himself is missing. So Ishan Kishan, I feel for him. As a captain, it's going to be a very difficult season for him. But if he does well with this bowling attack, then it will look very good for his CV as a captain. So with that,
Yeah,
let's
I
look at
think
Yeah,
This
sorry.
is a similar situation to MI 2023
Yeah,
or LSG 2025, where you are kind of agreeing that your bowling is bad and then trying to play around that. So maybe that can be a positive where you don't have any expectations going into the season from the bowling. Maybe
yeah,
sometimes that can help because it can kind of liberate your bowlers and the youngsters to actually do well. You never know.
yeah. So with that, let's look at the strength and weaknesses. I want to start with the weaknesses first. We spoke about the poor Indian bowling attack and lack of an experienced spinner. But now let's look at. I want to talk about the unknown form of Klaasen and for Cummins as well, because Cummins won't be playing, so we don't know how he's going to perform. But I'm actually curious to know what Henrik Klaasen is up to. Was he playing any form of cricket, or was he just doing nothing after the SA?
Yeah, he was doing nothing after the SA 20. So it's been close to 2 months since he's last played professional cricket, and he didn't do too well there either. It is difficult, but again, the conditions will be pretty much to his liking. So you do expect him to do well, and he loves playing in Hyderabad and he gets good amount of support as well. He is an unknown and he has had a poor season last time. So I'm not sure about that. And also Nitish Reddy, he was kind of the breakout superstar in 2024, but since then he hasn't done much as well. He is a concern. Salil Arora, of course, is playing for the first time. Abhishek is coming off a bad patch, so you never know. And Travis Head is a uncertainty at any given point. So while we are talking about this batting on paper being very strong, which I agree, but they are also highly volatile commodities, so you never know. And we have seen that happen last year as well. So yeah.
Yeah, it's looking like a SRH. They could either come out guns blazing or just have a season to forget. Let's look at the few positives that they have. I think this batting on paper should be a big positive for them, especially with the addition of Liam Livingstone. I think last year what we saw was, I think a couple of matches they lost their top three very quickly, and then a lot of pressure was down to Henrik Klaasen and either Aniket Verma or I think Sadarangani once played with him. So
I think the game against MI last year at
yeah,
Hyderabad was a good example.
yeah. So do you think Livingston adds more flexibility? Do you think the top order can go even more crazy now that they have got Livingston?
Yeah, I think he's going to add a lot of flexibility, as you mentioned, and it will liberate the top three even more, as if they didn't need anything of it. But they do have that luxury that if and when they do fall together, they will have someone down there to kind of resurrect the innings. And that someone isn't a fringe player this time. They've got a proper class player in Livingston. And I would go on to say that after Ishan Kishan, he's probably in the best form in this starting batting. So that is a good sign for them. And he's been bought for quite a lot of money as well. So they do believe in his abilities. That is why he's here. And if at all things go south, they also have a certain Kamindo Mendes on the bench who can slot in at the top if needed. So I think that is a good thing, and they will have Livingston doing a lot of work.
Yeah, and as I mentioned earlier, he'll have to toss in a couple of his leg spin overs as well. So Livingston is going to be the make or break player for them, potentially the most important player for them this year. So now let's look at a few arcs to watch out for this time. I'm really excited to watch Ishan Kishan because this time he is in what is, I think, his career best form. A lot of expectations from him, so I really hope he can deliver on that. I wouldn't want him to play as aggressively as he did in the World Cup because in the World Cup he knew that he had a solid batting order to follow. Over here, it's not the case, so I hope he takes some more responsibility, especially being the captain. And if he can play innings similar to maybe a Shreyas Iyer, that would be really good and helpful. So he's one player that I'm excited to see.
Yeah, Ishan Kishan as a captain, he doesn't have that experience at the highest level, so that will be interesting. I think more than his batting, I'm actually interested to see how he leads the side and how does he kind of uh, play around with his bowling. We have to come back to that. I hope that he isn't kind of put under the bus if things go wrong with their bowling because he is a bit inexperienced, but the bowling as a whole isn't of the highest quality, so they are bound to make mistakes. And I think from what I can see happening, I don't think Pat Cummins will come. He's already been getting a lot of flack for missing international cricket and then being committed to the IPL. So I believe he will not come for this season. So it gives Kishan a longer rope, and hopefully he will do well and lead his bowling attack, especially.
Great. So now let's go to the predictions for SRH. I think this is going to be a very interesting prediction to make. Or is it? I think I'll kick us off. Unfortunately, I'm having to place them in P10. I see this SRH lineup very similar to Rajasthan Royals from last year, where they had quite a few exciting batting talents. You had Vaibhav Suryavanshi, Jaiswal, Riyan Parag, Sanju Samson played a few matches. But the bowling was really terrible, which is the case for SRH as well. And you've seen with the bad bowling attack, there's not a lot you can do. So that's why I placed them in P10. They won't be off by a mile, but they will be the last place side in this IPL.
Yeah, I think that is a absolutely valid argument because bowlers are very important. And you saw Rajasthan last time, they still had someone like Jofra Archer, and yet they suffered. So this time, SRH, I would say, compared to that RR bowling, is well below that as well. So I think their batting is good enough to win them a few games, but definitely they're not in my radar for the top four. I'll place them at number 9.
I was expecting
I
that.
can't think of one more team below them, but number 9 sounds about right.
Yeah, I also now think of the same team, and I think I might have messed up the 8 and 9 positions, but we'll see that later.
Yeah, so
So,
that is it for the
yeah,
Sunrisers. Hopefully their sun does rise. So we've got 4 more teams to go, and those 4 were not the most exciting teams from last year, but hopefully they will be exciting, and hopefully this video was exciting for you. So until next time, Orange Fire!
स्टेडियम में शोर है एनर्जी ऑन द फ्लोर है दिस इज द अनफिल्टर्ड फीड